Hello comrades, this is Soviet, and welcome back to, or actually, welcome to Battle Brothers. I've had this series for quite some time. It was in the late beta, I guess you could call it, but now it's a full game and we have full stuff, and it's really freaking full of stuff that we might actually enjoy, or we will enjoy, not actually enjoy, because if we will enjoy it, then it's a good game, and I love this game. So we're going to go ahead and go a new campaign. I have Battle Brothers, I may change that in a second. Permanent destruction is on, and we gotta pick a banner. I can, of course, change this. I like the raven or the crow right now. I have played this game before. I may delete this playlist, so in case if you want a fresh series and I actually know what I'm doing, then go ahead and click this new playlist. If I don't have a playlist by the time you're clicking this video, or if I do have a playlist, be sure to check that out. I think I like this banner. No, actually, I think I'm gonna go with the raven. So, Sons of Tazar. I'm gonna do war. I like it when the houses have fights. I'm gonna try to roleplay this game the best that I can. Characters will be named through personal life and through TV shows and the Horus Heresy series through Games Workshop, and I hope to bring you along. This won't really be this will be an intro video, but this won't really be a tutorial video. I already have one out there. It might not be the best, but it's out there, and I'm starting fresh. I could delete it, but that was another series. So if you're checking this out, this will be pretty much the introduction video. So next, we're gonna have beginner on everything, but we may have to change that in case we die early, or I decide that I can do it on veteran difficulty. So if you want a higher playthrough, then this is not the video for you. But if you're okay with doing this and having a better commentary than a panicked man, panicked Soviet, then I go ahead and stick with this video. But I highly recommend you stick with this video. Give me advice in the comments sections below. I play many video games throughout a day to record and edit, but still give me advice. I'm jumping around games a lot, so I'm not going to know everything about this game in particular. I play a lot of Arma and Crusader Kings and stuff like that, and Mountain Blade. So in case if you have ideas or want your characters to be named after you, go ahead and post in the comments. I'll be sure to change them for the next video. And if I get to your comments late, then I'll be sure to recruit a man to go under your name. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm not one to read all the text, but I'll try as much as I can. I'm a college student, so reading text will prevent me from losing time. It all went wrong. 2 days ago, the company was hired to track down Hargert the Weasel and his band of raiders. Excuse me, but it was them who found you first. An ambush, some joke about horses, cut short by an arrow to the throat, arrows shooting, and from everywhere and nowhere, men holler and scream, a great volume before death. As the hell subsides, you draw your weapon with the rest of the men, only to collapse to your knees. An arrow has punctured your knee, your side. You shout in pain. A harrowed glance sees the men charge without you to make a valiant last stand, met in force as steel clashes with steel. You meet eyes with the captain, a last nod before his throat is cut. You're left in command now of what few men remain. Trembling in pain, you lean on your sword, and with all the will you can, you muster slowly rise again. Oh shit. So Captain is dead, One Eye is dead, and these other two men are dead that we don't know their names. And so there's the Weasel. He can change appearances, but the intro, or at least the beginning of the game, is still the same. And I'm not going to go over everything. I have other videos for that. And at the moment I'm kind of rushed, so the next video might have a little more information about stuff. And we missed those two attacks, so we're about to get hit. Well, luckily I'm a I'm a coward, and this is on beginner. If I move over here, he's dead. Okay, and then so we won our first battle. Normally when I play a video game you always lose, but luckily the tutorial lets us win in this case. I guess you could lose a man or two. We got the loot. You're alive. You won. The general. Oh, I can't. Ooh. Fades in its wake you can't help but sink back to the ground. Getting your teeth, you snap the arrow's shaft. Your chest heaves, pain for breath. Everything blurs, and the company has been devastated, cut down to but a few men, and that bastard Hoggart did justice to his name, fleeing like the weasel he is. What now, Captain? A voice says behind. It's Bjorn, who sits down beside you, bedding his bloody axe on his legs. And I may read too fast because I want to get done with it, so I apologize. You turn to him to reply, but before you can answer, he continues. Bernhard's dead, they slit his throat, he's a good man and a damn good leader, but all that took was one mistake. That makes you in charge now, doesn't it? Don't it? Seven the Blade, or I'll just call him Blade, joins the two of you, still breathing heavy. Then the Black joins you. Save the ceremony and appointments for another day. Let the men get a good burial and return to Jadenburg to collect our pay. The Weasel's men are slain after all. Besides, Captain, we ought to see to that wound before we lose you too. Awesome. So here's our tutorial men. We can align them in here. We can only have 10 men, which is pretty disappointing, but we can line them in here. These 12 men, apologize, will accompany these spots, and these men will accompany the reserves. So we're going to go Jadenburg. Jadenburg is right here, but before we do that, let's go ahead and show our relationships and interests. So we're unknown, we're not a known mercenary force, and we're neutral. We're not good or evil, which is pretty fun. So we have House Garwall, House Horn, House Winterhall. Each house kind of has its own description. I'm not going to read every one. Through our mercenary gameplay will really tell us how we want to play the game. So we're going to go ahead and go Jadenburg. I want to get this video, I want to get as much as I can done. But in this game you take control of a, I'm going to go ahead and pause it. You take control of a mercenary group and you go and you fight and get money and stuff, which is pretty cool. You fight orcs, bandits, undead, and a couple other monsters. So we have crowns to pay our soldiers and to pay for supplies. We have provisions to feed our men. We have tools and supplies to repair our equipment. We have ammunition, which is what it is, and we have medical supplies, which heal our men, like the name implies. So as we continue, and I'm a YouTuber to do this, I like to explain as we go. I'm not going to throw everything at you at the moment we start a game. The cool thing about the new fully updated game is that we can see who died and how many kills they got, which is pretty nice. Our roster will change as we go. Men will die, men will continue on. And we have ambition, which helps us get a little bit more renown, and etc. So we're going to go ahead and go Jadenburg. This game feels really German with the names, so it's weird to the Soviet that it is more German. What a sorry display it must be for the onlookers as you arrive in Jadenburg. 4 bloodied and beaten mercenaries down on their luck. The men who hired the company days ago, Curry, the treasurer, no doubt expected you to return in a more glorious fashion. Still, he welcomes you to his house and offers bread and wine, while a servant fetches the healer. Few words are exchanged except for the occasional grunt and wheeze as an elderly man with shaking hands tends your wounds. A pin pierces your skin, the first of many stitches to come. You grit your teeth till you think you hear one break. Corey, the treasurer, sits beside you and asks if you took care of Hargart. You shake your head. So it looks like we're an honest man, which is really, really fantastic. I like it, but I would just say, sure, we did it, give us our gold. We killed his men, but the weasel occluded our blades in the end. The healer waves around a glowing fire poke, suggesting he wants to push it around it into your wound. You nod and he does so. For a moment, that's all there is. You're not a man, but a pinch of fire. Flesh from fame, a golem of pain. Coriol, the treasurer, hands you a goblet of wine. You did well, Sellsword. The brigands have been removed, though it is a shame that Hargurt still lives. We expect to get paid for this. We're mercenaries. We'll come after you and kill you if you don't pay for us. Here the treasurer gasps. Well, naturally, 400 crowns as agreed upon. So, in case, going away from this little dialogue, in case if we played on veteran or expert settings, we wouldn't have gotten as many crowns, I don't think. And we wouldn't have started with as many crowns. He gestures towards a servant who rushes to your side with the pay in hand. I wonder, may I make use of your services one more time? I'd very much like to end this headache that Hargurt once and for all. And I would pay you again, of course, another 400 crowns, shall we say. Bajarn Scorps, we'll have to give him a nickname because I can't pronounce his name. He turns to drink more wine, but the black stands to speak. Yes, the company is in ruin, but we will rebuild it without the sons of Tushar. Jarn will drink the crowns away and end up begging on the streets. And the blade, by the gods, we all know he'll go chasing the women folk until one stove is rotten head in. We need the sons of Tushar. That's all we have. What do you say, Captain? Jarn burps and raises his cup to you. The blade playfully dumps his nose and nods. Kill that bastard Haggard or not, it's up to you, Captain. So we're gonna go ahead and kill him. I think it's noble for us to kill him, even though we're mercenaries, and we kind of really don't have to. In this game, you kind of have to play as a mercenary would, but the dialogue pretty much seals your fate, no matter if you want to play as an animal or you want to play as the righteous. Curry the treasurer claps his hands in satisfaction. Excellent. My little birds will need some time to find where Hargurt is hiding his hide now. In the meantime, I suggest you see about stocking up on supplies so that you'll be good and ready to end this when the time comes. I shall see you in a few days' time at the latest. Excuse me. As you leave Corey the treasurer's house and stand on the outskirts of Jadenburg, the black seeks a word with you. We need more men, Captain. I know I gave a big speech back there, but Bravo won't do shite. We need more warm bodies in the ranks. Figure out 3 good men, but buy them some decent weapons and dress them in the best armor we can afford. The man pauses to glance around. I bet this Bedunk town's got a desperate peasant or two looking for a new life. Or we could travel to Lashfish. The south, them city folk aren't always as hardy as these country bumpkins, but we're more likely to find men with fighting experience stopping to rest here. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hire some men. I know the objective says travel to Levsfest, but we're gonna go hire a man or two here. They're all miners, so we're gonna have better fatigue. The cool thing about this game as well is when you hire someone. Oh, it looks like we have 2 brothers in here. It's pretty interesting. But they'll give a backstory about each character. I'm not going to read them all. I don't have time for that. But if you post in the comments, I'll be able to read it. So we're going to hire him. And then that's pretty much it. We're going to give him a weapon or armor of some kind. A hood and a buckler. Right now, I know it wants me to go to another town, but just in case if we get attacked, then we'll have better equipment. So let's go ahead and go to Loverfest. I think that's not how you pronounce it, but I'm just gonna go for it. Loverfest skyline appears on the horizon. The blade seeks a word with you. Never been to this town before, but I've been around ones that look a lot like it. Cities like these are great for selling goods. All these Prompkus pricks love to have their goods delivered with so many merchants you can almost find anything you need to. Keep keep an eye out for bargains. Don't get twiddled by them cutthroat merchants. If there's a good tavern, we can get drinks. So that's what he's basically saying. So we're gonna go through here. The beginning of the game is pretty much the same. It teaches you how to do it. I think even on expert. But we're gonna go hire 2 more men. Looks like we have a gravedigger. And then the other man we can hire is a rat catcher. That's pretty much it. That's affordable. I could get him too. May as well. I don't. No. So we have 6 men. We hired. I think we hired 2, but we'll hire 1 more, and then we gotta go to the marketplace. Will give us our income, or our equipment rather. So we're just gonna hire some stuff. It doesn't really have to be that effective for right now. Maybe get some shields or another buckler and a spear. And then we'll go in this tab and equip our men. I should have seen what they were wearing at first before I threw some gear on them. He needs a better weapon. I'll give him the pickaxe for right now. Anyone else? So that looks like a good company so far. And then we'll sell all this stuff rather. So we're gonna head back to Jadenburg to the treasurer and tell him about how we hired a couple more men. Curry the treasurer is pacing back and forth when you find him. The healer who damn near killed you with the fire poke is standing nearby. He's picking chunks of dried blood out of his fingernails. Curry the treasurer claps his hands. Finally, you're here. I have good news. We got hold of one of Hargot's former men. My good friend here had a nice talk with the man, and now I know where he's licking his wounds. The healer clears his throat, splaying the fingers out like a maiden looking to paint them. He speaks as though he's identifying a disease he's about to exorcise. The brigand known as Hargot is hiding in a small hut in the tundra to the northwest of here. Based upon my most civil discussion with one of his men. Nice. Hargot knows the sons of Thor. Tezar is on his heels and will gather more men. Alright, so he's like, whatever, we got it. We're gonna take his head. I didn't mean to do that, and we're gonna go to the tundra. With games like this, I'd normally say beforehand, but I think with 7 men, we could pretty much kill him. We're gonna do something real fast. I forgot to give him a shield, but it doesn't really matter. I think we can take Haggard down and his men and get our 400 crowns. But it is almost night time, so I'm gonna go ahead and camp up for the moment. I like it how they force you to have fast speed. Enemies will come in at night, are more likely to come in at night, so which is pretty nice. Pretty scary at some time, but we're done now. We're gonna go ahead and attack. So we got a few brigand dunks and approacher, so it's an archer. So here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and stay where I am and have them come towards us. Except for this archer, I need him dead. One of our men. I'll just advance, it doesn't matter. He's gonna retreat. That's 2-3 blocks. This is not like a total war game where you kill the enemy general and he's the men lose morale. If you kill anyone, they pretty much lose morale, which is pretty nice. We're gonna move up once with our archer, hopefully get this two-handed guy. And we miss. In this game, you want to get the high ground as well, which is pretty nice. So Hagar is on the high ground. He's going to be a little bit harder to kill. But as we're in the combat phase for right now, we have action points, which lets us move around the map. We have fatigue, so every time we move, our men will get fatigue. We'll lose fatigue and we'll get tired. We have morale. We have head armor. we have body armor, and we have hit points. These little sections right here will allow us to hit and kill those enemies. They use fatigue and action points. So I just wanted to get a little bit of that off the hook for right now. Hopefully I can reload, and I can move 2 AP and move 4 fatigue, but I'll go ahead and take the shot, which I wound him. And we'll move up a little bit more. And sorry if you're a great player at this game and you're frustrated about me, about how I'm moving around. I don't want to be killed right off the bat, but go ahead and break his nose. The archer's going to move back. I've never seen an enemy move back this far. That's probably a bad move, but I really don't mind. I'm going to get him locked in combat. So virtually, if he tries to flee, and then we'll have a pretty good time of killing him. Hopefully he does try to flee. Move back. Oh, now we're locked in combat with Haggard. So that's pretty much a dumb move. But he'll get attack. And he tried to retreat, which is nice. We'll move up with our archer. Try to kill him. Unsuccessful. He'll take a few stabs at our side. You don't really want to attack someone in the high ground, but we have to. The weasel's not moving anywhere. So hopefully we can get around here and trap that poacher. I want to kill the weasel as fast as possible. He's the strongest man. And I forgot one of my men doesn't even have a shield. But with 2 men down, we pretty much have him. So all our men are getting tired. We can't do anything with our archer, which is next. I'm gonna go try to break his shield. And we did. Probably because we're on easy difficulty. We'll have to change that if things are going our way. We want a challenge. We're about to kill the weasel. And one of our men is down. Who's down? Reinhard, the Tipod, is dead. Or is struck down, so he's not really dead. Which is unfortunate. The weasel's almost dead, and I accidentally skipped his turn. Oh! I did not mean to do that. Sorry. Don't get too mad at me, everyone. That was embarrassing. And here we go. So one of our men was struck down. As when your man gets struck down, he'll have a permanent injury. So right now, Reinhard has the broken knee injury, which is minus 40% of most everything. And he's content with being in reserve. So unless we really need him, he's content in being reserved. So he's not a fighting machine as he once was. And for loot, we got a couple of stuff. We got a falcon. Ammunition, supplies, crowns, roots and berries, and amber shards, which is a good paying item. So normally when I play this game, when I'm trying to record, at least in the past, after I killed him, I normally just died. So I'm glad I haven't now, or hopefully won't. Hargurt lies dead in a pool of his own blood, screwed into Gerstez and broken pose. He didn't weasel out his way this one. You put a boot on his corpse and look to your men for the company for all the men who've fallen. Blade spits on the dead man's face, and then we're gonna go take his head. So in case if you ever lived in times like these and you were someone who's dead, you'll get your head cut off. The blade, once it joins us on our side, got a moment, Captain. You nod for him to speak his mind. The battle has left some gear worse for wear, and men got a good nicking too. But we can patch him up. So he's basically saying, if we go in a camp mode, our men will heal faster. Better. So I'll go ahead and speed this up. The company returns to Jadenburg as victors, their head held much higher this time. The sons of Tazor are not the same size they once were. but they're still a force to be reckoned with, as Haggard learned in his final moments. You carry his head in a sack that you empty in front of Keller, the treasurer. He jumps back, but the healer quickly picks up the head, stares at it, and nods. Carry the treasurer. Every time I pronounce his name, I feel like I'm getting it wrong, which is making me nervous. Approaches the brigand's bloody face and eyes it carefully. Yes, that's his ugly mug, all right. Servants, pay this man his money. Point in hand, you raise your voice to the men. As long as there's blood coursing through our veins, as long as we can hold sword and shield, there shall stand our company, all the realm people who know the sons of Tazar. The men cheer. The black puts his hand on your shoulder. You did well, Captain. No matter where you lead us, the men will follow you as brothers in battle. So that's really our opening of the game. I hope you enjoyed this game. If you have, please leave a like or comment, and I'll see you all next time. This is the Soviet signing off.